Hey, what's up, everybody? It's DJ Phanatic Beats, content contributor for liveoffbeats.com. Here with another video for you guys. This is a beat breakdown of one of my top selling beats. It's actually a Takashi 69 style type beat and has a cool bounce to it. If you like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Phanatic Beats or Instagram at Sounds for Producers. So let's jump right into it. I'm gonna break down what I did in the beat. First, Takashi's style is actually it's different. It's very unique as to what's out right now. Despite all the drama, but we're focusing on the music. But that type of beat has like a little bounce to it. So what you want to do first is kind of find a cool loop that resembles his music. It's always good to listen really well on his cadences and just do research and listen to his music so you know what type of elements. So I think I just started with a loop here, and you can actually recreate that yourself. Just make any type of sound that you want. It's just like some plucks or synths, and just come up with a cool melody that just repeats. A lot of his songs have simple melodies that repeat. Notice there's reverb and delay in there. I think I added that. No. So it's pretty much straightforward. I think I just pitched it up or pitched it down or whatever. You can do that with loops to make it your own, or also to change the the key, so that way you can kind of make it more unique and a better key that you think you can hear him on. It's always good to really visualize and get in their head and hear what they would do on the beat, because it transfers more into that type of whatever artist type of beat that you're making. So excuse me. Next I added, I think, a clap, so that gives you that steady rhythm, so you can keep adding on. This particular beat was at 180 BPM at double time, so it's 90 BPM at regular time. So this is around the tempo that he raps on. And again, when you're researching type beats or whatever, or artists, just you can figure out the BPMs by counting with it, or just I think there's like online BPM counters too. And also, being a DJ, I know record pools provide that type of information for pretty much any song that you get is BPMs. So pay attention to that, because I know some producers would listen to like an artist's music and not even pay attention to what BPM it is. That's very important. So next, after the clap, the typical clap that a lot of his music has, and a lot of artists have. And then I think I added like a counter rhythm. It's like a percussion, just to kind of give it some more character. Now you kind of feel that rhythm. You feel like a little more bounce to it, and it adds a lot more just character, and it's building the beat up a little bit. I think next is just another percussion element, so we'll listen to it. There you have it. So it's another like a snare, and I have it doing a whole different rhythm than the previous one. So I have two different rhythms, and then the clap. So just all these different little elements, add on to just the percussion part of it. And if you really pay attention to, his style, there's a lot of the similarities like this. And not every beat is the same, and not every beat that Takashi 69 raps on is the same. Don't take just that. It's just particular beats have these similar elements in it. And then I had a straightforward hi-hat to give it that foundation. And that kind of gets you right in the groove. Just keep you real straightforward, because sometimes when you have just too many rhythm elements and percussion, the listener can get lost without some type of foundation. I'll just do that in there just to kind of keep it a little more steady. And notice I pulled up the fruity wrapper of that hi-hat, and it's good to shift, especially if there's no gap. Some sounds come pre what do you call is swing. It'll have like a little gap here, so that way it doesn't start right on beat, but some sounds don't, and you got to pay attention to that as well. Shifting, this little shift knob actually moves it forward in time just a little bit, so that way it's a little offbeat and it sounds a little more humanized. And it's very important to have your stuff sound humanized, because you don't want just everything on the grid all the time. So next I added another hi-hat. It's a faster rhythm, and it's kind of definitely, believe it or not, this little thing, this little hi-hat actually adds so much to the beat, and it actually brings that Takashi tempo, you know, his flow. He likes this fast hi-hat because, you know, it's aggressive and it's very consistent. So I'll let you hear it with that as well. Alright, so far that's just those percussion elements in the hi-hats, and I think I'm not sure what that is. Let's see what that is. So I added another like hi-hat roll that pans left and right. So there's a lot of percussion elements just in this beat that kind of makes it more cohesive. And this right here, I'm not sure what that is, so let's see what that is. And this is the intro of the beat, which is 16 bars, so 8 bars in regular time. And that is just a straight open hi-hat on every downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you notice it hits on every beat, and Takashi, like for some reason they do that a lot in their beats. It sounds cool because it builds energy. Like you notice how I'm building up this intro, adding little things. Actually, this is the only thing I added in the second part of the intro. So everything's hitting, and then the other elements come in. So I'm gonna play the intro and jump into the chorus so you hear the build up. So I let it go past the chorus into the verses, just so you hear what I did with the beat. This is actually one of my most popular beats right now, currently. And when you, like I mentioned in another video, when you get a popular beat, you want to make sure you pay attention to it and just see why it's working. Sometimes even if it's a popular artist and you make a tight beat, I mean, some people just get it, you know, just because of that. But this beat can be applied pretty much to any artist, and sometimes like certain things that you did in a beat, you know, connects with people for some reason. And what I think connected with this beat is actually the simplicity of it. Pardon me. The simplicity of the beat actually, I don't know, like if you have too many elements in a beat, it can kind of throw people off, and there's like a lot of space here. For instance, you notice how I broke it down for the verse. Let me go over some other instruments that were in the chorus. I think it was this. Is this the 808? Yeah. So the 808 actually, I can take off the effects here and let you hear what it sounded like before. See, as you notice, it doesn't have my bad. It doesn't have as much presence, and it doesn't have that punch to it. Here it is after the processing. So it's a big difference. I can't stress enough EQ. The EQ, you can really shape a sound into something totally different. Notice I shaved off a little bit of the highs, not too much, so that way I can have some distortion later. And I boosted some of the low bass, not the sub area, but the low bass, because I wanted that frequency to stand out. And if you listen closely, there's actually like a kick in that 808, like it's a subtle kick in the low mid range area, high bass low mid area, and you got to keep that in consideration when you throw a kick on top of it as well. Of course I'm side chaining with this, but you got to be considerate of these frequencies clashing because you want certain things to sound clean and cohesive. So with that, I added Fruity Fast Distort. It's a quick way of making distortion. You can mess around with the posts and the threshold and the pre. Usually when you slap this on though, make sure your sound is low so you don't blow your ears, because the distortion is so loud that you know, it has a lot of energy into it, and you want to make sure your sound's low before you throw that on, and then make adjustments. You know, you can turn it up as you adjust. Let's hear it without it, and I'll show you the big difference. Let's detach that. That's a quick way of just, you know, keeping that window open while you press around on other buttons. Play around with the mix level. Usually I would start with the mix level probably here and the post here, and then boost up the post and the mix, so that way, you know, you can do it afterwards. The threshold, of course, you know, you got to be careful with. So this is not a tutorial over the Fruity Fast Distort. It is a quick way of making distortion. There's tons of distortion plugins. I do have several. I just wanted to try something different. I rarely use this, and you can get some good results with that. And putting distortion on the 808 was a design element that Takashi has in his music a lot. The 808s are just distorted, and it kind of it connects with his voice. You know, he has a very aggressive style, and you know, he's like blaring out his verses and like tension, and you know, you kind of want to have these elements in the beat because it connects with his audience. And also, you know, other rappers that want to, you know, emulate or just, you know, kind of feel his style. So the other element I had, I think it was just a melody, so let's hear what that is. So pretty straightforward sound. It was a pluck, I believe, one of the plugins I used, so I think that was a Storch, yeah. So none too complicated. Notice there's no crazy chords. It's just simple melodies on top of each other. What really stands out in this beat actually is the most of the percussion, and the percussion elements are key, you know, because you want to get those rhythms going. And also during the verse, if you notice, I did some change ups. You know, when you're doing your formatting for in song format, make sure you keep track of the bars, like how many bars the verse is and what the chorus is. And you know, trust your ear. You know, not everyone's at a certain level, but trust your ear to hear what sounds good. If you don't like it, you know, 9 times out of 10 somebody else doesn't like it. So and I could have did a lot more with this beat. I'm shocked I didn't go crazy with it, but that could be a good thing. And maybe that's why, you know, a lot of people are gravitating to it. So, you know, it's a simple loop, a lot of different percussion elements with different rhythms. That's important. The 808 is important with the distortion. sound selection, sound selection, sound selection. That little pluck that I used in the chorus, that was sound selection chosen as well. You know, his beats are pretty straightforward. And when you're making your verses, you can, you know, put little gaps here and there and just structure your beat so it breathes a little bit and just have some movement in it. I can't stress that enough. You don't want the beat just staying the same the whole time. And even second verses I change up compared to the first sometimes. And then, you know, at the end you can just either do something different or just have the chorus go out and then just I actually forgot how I ended this. Looks like it just kind of goes out, so I'll let you hear what I did at the end. So there you have it. Once again, it's DJ Phanatic Beats, content contributor for liveoffbeats.com. If you'd like to follow me again, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Phanatic Beats or at Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. So hopefully, you know, you learned something. Just kind of went over this most popular beat right now. You know, that's also selling well. And when you're not selling, don't worry about it. You know, just stay steady at it. What you want to pay attention to is who's like your top played beat, you know, before you start selling. For those that aren't selling, because every little bit counts. You kind of want to look at what, you know, your audience is gravitating to. If they're listening to, you know, one particular beat like 100 times a day, there's something there, and you might want to hone in on that and just make 10 other beats like that, you know, or just use those same elements and you know, just change the key and experiment, you know, with that targeted beat. So anyway, yeah, keep making dope music. Peace.